It don't matter to me that the Wizards are 6-26. Are they really 6-26? Oh my God. Hey, shout out to all of our subscribers and members here on the channel. My name is Reese Waters, and I'm troubled. Now, lost in all of the hoopla and Donald Trump naming Mike Johnson Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson being elected Speaker of the House.
It's really good. I haven't had one negative comment about him. Everybody likes him. Respected by all. And that's something we need. And it looks like that's going to happen. So there'll be a wonderful thing. I put out a group today on him. And I did one last night. You saw that. We think that somebody that could be really spectacular, and maybe for many years to come, he'll be very good.
I watched so much C-SPAN on Friday, my bones tightened up. Now I got osteoporosis. And Chip Roy out there mean mugging for the camera. Just to capitulate.
Today's a new day. It's 2025. The president asked us to get behind Mike Johnson. We did. It is now Mike Johnson's house to deliver. It is now Mike Johnson's job to deliver on the president's agenda.
Did you see that shameful letter that they tried to write to save face? Talking about today we voted for Mike Johnson because of our steadfast support of President Trump and to ensure timely certification of his efforts. That was the case in the beginning when you was talking spicy. We did all this despite our sincere reservations regarding the speaker's track record over the past 15 months. Did that change? I don't know that his track record has changed from the time that you were out here talking spicy to when you capitulated. If you skip down to the bottom, now Speaker Johnson must prove he will not fail to enact President Trump's bold agenda. Therefore, legislation that is put before the body must, for example,
Got to secure the border. We've got to get rid of the bureaucrats. We've got to make our country strong again. There can be no room for doubt here. We've got to have leadership to get that done. And that's why today's vote. That's why there were 9 people who withheld their votes. It sends a message that we're going to be watching that.
Did you just come with asks of the speaker after you decided to vote for him? And look at all these other cornballs who you got. Of course, Clay Higgins would sign on to something like this. That actually makes perfect sense. All that just to save face, and nobody believes it. That is the congressional equivalent of, it was a mutual decision. Yeah, it was a mutual. We both thought that my talents will be better served at a different organization. Well, why is your stuff in a box?
He gonna cry in the car.
Lost in all of that, you might have missed this speech, which was given by the Democrats' own Hakeem Jeffries.
2 months ago, the American people elected Donald Trump as the 47th president of the United States of America. Thank you for that very generous applause.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
It's okay. There are no election deniers on our side of the aisle. You see, one should love America. One should love America when you win and when you lose.
Now, why would they fall for something like that? I mean, really, you really thought he put that in his speech for y'all to get up and clap and feel good about yourselves? What have you not seen or noticed about the state of our politics in 2024? But this is the question that I have. As much as I enjoyed that clip, this is the question that I have for Hakeem Jeffries. You mentioned there are no election deniers on our side of the aisle, but why? Why? Because this was another clip also from Hakeem Jeffries, which raised a whole lot of questions.
In North Carolina, on that very same day that Donald Trump won the presidential election, are we on the run in the state of North Carolina? What happened in Wisconsin? On the same day that Donald Trump won at the presidential level, Tammy Baldwin was reelected. Are we on the run in Wisconsin, in the heartland of the United States of America, when Tammy Baldwin won with a Republican president winning at the top of the ticket? What happened in Michigan, another heartland state? Alyssa Slotkin won the Senate seat and is on her way to the United States Senate. Are we on the run in the heartland state of Michigan? What happened in Nevada? Donald Trump wins the presidential election, but on the same day, same set of voters, Jackie Rosen is reelected to the United States Senate. Are we on the run in Nevada? And in Arizona, and by the way, in Nevada, all three House Democratic incumbents reelected. And in Arizona, Donald Trump wins somewhat convincingly at the presidential level. But Ruben Gallego is on his way to the United States Senate. Same day, same set of voters, same election. So there were 6 battleground states that had statewide elections outside of the presidential election. Democrats swept 5 and only lost in Pennsylvania. That doesn't sound to me like we need a complete makeover. Thanks, everyone.
Now, I've been getting stuff sent to me literally since Election Day. And I said, you know what? The authorities should pursue these things. I'll give them some time to do what they do. And I realize not everything is for everybody. You don't necessarily need all the people to be subject to the machinations of our federal government, certainly when it comes to sensitive things like this. I'll never forget that day that I found out that Santa Claus was black.
Hey, good morning. Did you know that Santa Claus was based off of a real person who wasn't white? True story. His name was Saint Nicholas, and he was a Turkish Moorish Christian bishop who provided for the poor and sick.
I can't believe he makes it all the way around the world and don't get stopped not one time. But now enough time has passed. It's January and I haven't heard nan investigation, nan look into a recount. I haven't heard anybody address the very legitimate concerns that people have about what happened in November. And I'm trying to figure out exactly why. It's one thing, Hakeem Jeffries, for you to stand up there and assert that there are no election deniers in our caucus, but did you even do your due diligence? Let's just go off what we know. One thing we know is that there were rampant threats and intimidation prior to Election Day and actual threats on Election Day.
A Neptune Beach teenager today accused of pulling out a machete at an early voting site expected in court for a first appearance.
Police say Caleb Williams went to the Beaches Branch Library yesterday afternoon to intimidate voters.
And that's when they couldn't get to actual ballots that ended up in drop boxes filled with Roman candles. We know there was misinformation pumped into social media.
September 9th, Musk spreads a conspiracy theory that immigrants in Ohio are eating people's pets. The following day, Trump repeats the slur during the presidential debate with Kamala Harris.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs.
The false claim leads to multiple bomb threats against the Springfield immigrant community, September 15th and 16th. Over a single weekend, Musk amplifies a conspiracy theory that ABC leaked sample debate questions to the Harris campaign, falsely claims that the Dems want to take your kids, further fuels racist lies about immigrants eating pets, shares with his nearly 200 million followers on X that Trump must win to, quote, preserve freedom and meritocracy in America, and insinuates that it is suspicious that no one is even trying to assassinate Biden and Kamala, adding a thinking face emoji.
They even threw misinformation on billboards.
October 18th, it's revealed that another Musk-funded group called Future Coalition PAC is targeting Muslim voters in Michigan and Jewish voters in Pennsylvania with diametrically opposed political advertisements about Kamala Harris. In areas with large Muslim populations, the group is painting Harris as a close friend of Israel and is suggesting that she's beholden to the beliefs of her Jewish husband. But in areas with large Jewish populations, the ads say Harris panders to Palestine.
And the one that really blew my mind, how about misinformation and misrepresenting the Harris-Walz campaign on people's phones?
October 19th, it's revealed that the Building America's Future PAC, another Musk-funded campaign group, is impersonating the Harris campaign by setting up a fake website containing fake policy positions, then sending out text messages driving voters to the fake site.
You have the dubious legality of Elon Musk's election registration drive.
Simultaneously, Musk is offering $100 to any Pennsylvania voter who signs his online petition as part of an effort to build a list of likely Trump voters. He also starts giving away $1 million a day to a randomly chosen voter who signed the petition.
And you somehow have 2020 Maga election deniers that were somehow able to attain positions of prominence within the electoral apparatus of a great many jurisdictions. I wouldn't let an election denier ref my daughter's preschool soccer game, but somehow they were given the task of making sure the votes were counted.
I hear the word unity and I get sick to my stomach because there is a lot of earthly, fake, and vile unity talk.
This is Shelby Bush, the Maricopa County Republican Party Vice Chair.
And despite all of that, now that we are here in January, I've heard not a peep, not one peep. All I have heard is, well, we are not election deniers. That's one thing that we are not. It's time to put the country back together. It's time to put the country back together. So let me get this straight. By virtue of the fact that they denied the election last time, now you feel too shy to investigate the litany of issues you could potentially have about this one. So this was just a free one that they had, huh? Is that what it is? This was just a free one? Ashley Judd in Double Jeopardy is jealous of the freedom that MAGA had in the 2024 election. And that's before you even get to what ended up in my inbox, like how about the Spoonermore letter? Dear Madam Vice President, this is my second duty to warn letter regarding hacking of the 2024 presidential election. The first letter on November 7th was directed to the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Both warnings are made per DNI Clapper's 2015 directive to all agencies and contractors associated with intelligence and financial agency technologies to warn of suspicions of hacking. Professionally, I've worked as the CEO or CTO at 7 high technology firms, including 2 which specialize in hacking and counter-hacking operations. My clients have included numerous governments, DOD, DHS, Department of State, F100 financials, and F500 industrials. I'm a lifelong Republican who has placed service and participatory democracy over party. Something to keep in mind, by the way. A little further down, I wholly agree with the public letter of Duncan Buell et al. Of November 13th, stating they believe there's a possibility of hacking and calling for hand recounts. Wait a minute, there's a whole nother letter that he's referencing? Well, let's see what that one's about. Dear Vice President Harris, we write to alert you to serious election security breaches that have threatened the security and integrity of the 2024 elections, to identify ways to ensure the will of the voters is reflected and that voters should have confidence in the result. The most effective manner of doing so is through targeted recounts requested by the candidate. In light of the breaches, we ask you formally request hand recounts in at least the states of Michigan, Nevada, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. We have no evidence that the outcomes of the elections in those states were actually compromised as a result of the security breaches, and we're not suggesting they were. but binding risk-limiting audits or hand recounts should be routine for all elections, especially when the stakes are high and the results are close. We believe that under the current circumstances, when massive software breaches are known and documented, recounts are necessary and appropriate to remove all potential doubt and to set an example for security best practices in all elections. And by the way, Duncan Buell was able to get a number of people to sign on to this. He got as many people to sign on to this as Chip Roy got to sign on to the Save Face letter. But back to Spudamore. This letter's clear call to action is commendable, but its cautious tone may belie the severity of what I believe has happened. In my view, it is a near certainty the results have been changed at a scale which reversed the U.S. presidential election. They imply there's a chance a hand count will show you won more votes. I'm stating a hand recount will most likely show you did win. Both letters call on you to act. Approximately 600,000 votes are for Donald Trump, but with no down ballot choices. These are either inserted bullet ballots for the presidential race or manipulated data fields. They are surgically added to totals in limited jurisdictions and within only the 7 swing states. This historically unprecedented set of numbers found in the 2024 swing states is absent in every other state. In Arizona, Michigan, North Carolina, and Wisconsin, the effect of these drop-off votes reverses the voters' will, and even more improbably always pushes the winning margin beyond the mandatory recount numbers. It's a result too perfect for belief. It is a bespoke and programmed outcome. Now, this is something which came to me pretty quickly after the election, and I'll be totally honest. I did not want to get into my election denial bag. I did not want to get into my election denial bag. I was extremely resistant to that. And in that way, I understand the posture and the mindset of Hakeem Jeffries when he loudly asserted we have no election deniers in our camp. However, I assumed that these things would all be looked into. I assumed that there would be some recourse for the litany of things I just outlined. I didn't think it would be here 2 months later, and we've heard nan peep. But the self-patting ourselves on the back for just going along to get along. Well, let's just take a look at Congress. Let's take a look at the Senate. Let's take a look at the House. Let's take a look at the cabinet, the Supreme Court. Let's see where going along to get along. Let's see where that has worked out. That is solid. That is great. I enjoy the go along to get along. And if you're wondering, yes, the Speaker of the House, who you just voted for last week, will be working under a rules package in which you have absolutely no recourse and no ability to remove him. Which is the first time that's happened. Yeah, that's how much they going along to get along. Let me go back to the letter. In the presidential races since 1980, these bullet ballots rarely account for more than 1% of the total votes, including in Mr. Trump's winning 2016 election and losing 2020 election. And when they do, it warrants further investigation. In 2024, in the 43 non-swing states, bullet ballots make up a nominal greater than 1%. In the 7 swing states, the numbers are so high to be unbelievable, unprecedented, and demanding of further investigation. Here is analysis from totals as of late November 12th. Here are the unprecedented results of drop-offs in the 2 western swing states. In Arizona, it was 123,000 votes, or 7.2% of Trump's total vote. 7.2% of Trump's total vote, or 123,000, were just Trump and nothing else. Then in Nevada, a 43,000 count, which accounts for 5.5% of Trump's total vote, enough to exceed recount thresholds. It is my belief that these 2 states have illegally added votes. For comparison, examine Trump's 2024 results in 3 states which border Arizona and Nevada. They have equally passionate Trump supporters, but have the normal levels of drop-off or bullet ballots. In Idaho, less than 2,000.03% of Trump's total. Oregon, less than 4,000.05% of Trump's total. In Utah, less than 1,000.01% of Trump's total. So you mean to tell me in those critical swing states, we had 123,000 and 55,000 of these bullet ballots, but all of the states surrounding them, you have, even if you add those three together, you get what, 7,000? That's not suspicious. That's not suspicious at all. Oh snap, I got a notification. Oh, I got an odds boost for Saquon Barkley in the season finale. He's sitting out. All of that, and I've heard nan peep from the Democrats other than things to make themselves feel better or make the Republicans feel secure in all that they've done and validated and empowered in all that they've done. Let me ask you, if you let all of these things go unchecked, uninvestigated, even uncommented upon publicly, you think this not gonna happen in 2028? Huh? You think this not gonna happen in 2028? After 4 years of you not sitting in the White House? Is that what you think the people that Trump just put in the cabinet are going to prevent all of these things from happening next time? Is that what you think?
Stop it. Get some help.
I would also assert there's a whole lot between this ground of moral superiority that you feel and MAGA. A whole lot. There's a chasm. Most of the world exists between your moral superiority and where MAGA is at. You ain't got to be up on the hill because the hill's looking pretty shaky at this particular point in time. By the way, you remember the last time we were here and we were certifying the electors? You remember the last time we were here, January 6th? Yeah, here was MAGA.
On the surface, that day of unprecedented violence.
And your moral superiority has flung open the doors of Congress and the White House to put them right back in power. Congratulations. So what I take from that is that it is more important for you to be able to say to yourself that you don't challenge elections than to actually do the work to look into the possibility of the voice of the people being subverted. And that is one of the primary reasons why we find ourselves here. Personally, it don't matter to me if the Commanders win the Super Bowl, because I accept the results. I don't care that the Washington Nationals are 20 games below 500, because I accept the results. It don't matter to me that the Wizards are 6-26. Are they really 6-26? Oh my gosh. They probably gonna be worse than that by the time this go live.